space, but I want to go ahead and get this in tonight. I had something to do earlier, so I say let me go ahead and start at 9 o'clock. And yeah, man, this has been a hot topic. We're hearing all kind of different things going on in Chi-Town. And tonight we're fortunate enough that we'll have a couple of our people in here from Chicago that come up in here and speak and, let us know exactly what's going on. I got an article off of News Total that I'm gonna touch up on as well too. So it's going to be very interesting to see because we're hearing different stories. We're hearing different things from the media. Yet we got people actually with boots on the grounds that's in actually Chi-Town. So we want to hear exactly, what they got to say about what's going on and everything that's happening up there. So once again, we're in another News Total space. Shout out to my people coming in YouTube. As you guys come in YouTube, make sure you go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. For anybody that's up in the space, you guys, this is my new News Total page after getting dinged by X. So definitely for those up in the space, make sure you go ahead and follow me. Make sure you guys go ahead and follow News Total. Anybody that's up in the space that used to follow, this is the new News Total profile right here. So definitely go ahead and follow News Total. P Ray, what's going on with you tonight? I got you up in here. I got Arthur.
Hey, Mr. Arthur. Long time no talk, no speak.
How you doing, P Ray?
I'm good, man. Out here doing my thing on this west side.
Well, that thing
trying real hard.
Well, the South Side is doing their thing over here too, dear.
Yeah, we born Chicago. We know what's going on.
That's right.
Now, and shout out to my people on YouTube. Now, I'm going to ask you two guys, because I have an article from one of our curation partners, Atlanta Black Star. Did you guys want me to just touch up on that, and then you go ahead and pretty much let us know, exactly what's the haps on everything?
Sure. However you want to rock the space.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and touch up on that. Professor, can you hear me? Professor, you there? Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you was up in here as well too, DJ. I'm sending you the co-host invite as well. What I'm gonna do, guys, is there's an article. It's a pretty lengthy article. I'm not gonna read it all, but I just want to touch up on something while we got our people up in here, and then we got Arthur and we got P Ray. I know Mark tweeted out as well too, so hopefully we'll get Mark caught up in here and some more of our Chicago people as well too. And that way they can let us know exactly, what's the haps, what's going on in Chicago, because we're hearing so many different things. We know some of the media reports, you have to take it with a grain of salt, but people that's actually citizens that live there, a lot of you guys, some of you guys are born and raised there. You can tell us exactly what's what was true, what's being embellished, what's just a straight out lie. And, I want to go ahead and touch up on that real quick. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to find that article from Atlanta Black Star. Professor, while I'm looking, I want to make sure the connection that everybody can hear me. Can you hear me, Professor?
I can hear you, sir.
All right.
I can hear you. And shout out to everybody in space right now. Shout out to everybody.
So let me. Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Gonna get it. Shout out to Chicago.
Let me go ahead real quick. I'm gonna just touch up on this article, and like I said, we got some of our Chicago fam up in here. This is from Atlanta Black Star, guys. It says, "F them kids. Children with zip tied U.S. citizens were detained as every resident in Chicago building was terrorized by armed ICE agents in violent raid. Residents inside a Chicago apartment building said a recent overnight raid conducted by ICE agents reached dehumanizing heights when they were zip tied, separated from their children, and hauled into vans, all without knowing the reason for the detainment. The raid was a targeted immigration enforcement operation carried out by the Border Patrol agents in Chicago's South Shore neighborhood, according to the Chicago Sun-Times. Hundreds of federal agents streamed into the city to carry out the operation as part of President Donald Trump's robust immigration crackdown. Officials claim the 5-story building they targeted had been frequented by roughly 30 immigrants who are part of Venezuelan gang. In the early morning hours of September 30th, 2025, Allied federal law enforcement agencies with CBP, FBI, and ATF executed an enforcement operation in Chicago's South Shore area, a location known to be frequented by gang members and their associates, DHS officials said. Per WLS, some of the targeted subjects are believed to be involved in drug trafficking, distribution, weapon crimes, and immigration violators. But as part of the operation, every resident inside the building was detained in their apartments, raided regardless of their background and national origin. After firing off flash bombs and storming the property, residents said agents broke down their doors, zip-tied them, and dragged them outside to sit in vans for hours before being released. Many learned that if they had an arrest warrant, even one unrelated to immigration, they would be taken into custody. They treated us like we were nothing. It was scary because I had never had a gun in my face, said resident Fisher told the WLS. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me, did I have any warrants? And I told them, no, I didn't. Roderick Johnson, a 67-year-old U.S. citizen, said he was tied up outside the building for 3 hours before he was released. I asked agents, why are they holding me if I was an American citizen? And they said I had to wait until they looked me up. Johnson said, I asked if they had a warrant, and I asked for a lawyer. They never brought me one. As I got to my unit to stick my key in the door, I was grabbed by an officer, and I said, what's going on? What's going on? He never actually told me. He said I was being detained, said resident Alicia Brooks. Neighbors who witnessed the chaotic scene say military-style trucks and rented U-Haul vans were also used to separate parents from their children. They had black people in one van and the immigrants in another van. They was terrified. The kids was crying. People were screaming. They looked very distraught. Neighbor Ebony Watson said, I was out there crying when I saw the little girl come around the corner because they were bringing the kids down too, had them zip tied to each other. That's all I kept asking. What is the morality? Where's the human? One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here and said, F them kids. We're under siege. We're being invaded, said witness Darrell Ballard. The Department of Homeland Security said federal agents arrested 37 people that night. Officials confirmed that some U.S. citizens were temporarily detained as protocol to keep residents safe, and the operation went very smoothly, according to News Nation. According to the Sun-Times, police in Chicago have focused on locating and arresting alleged trendy whatever members of the last several weeks, while Trump administration has flagged gang activity as one of the primary reasons for urban violence. Dozens of arrest records and official data show little evidence tying the Venezuelan gang to violent crime in Chicago in the last few years. Venezuelan nationals who were arrested have mostly faced nonviolent drug charges and trafficking infractions. Thousands of immigrants have poured into Chicago in recent months seeking refuge, with many settling into South Shore area. Federal officials characterized some of the immigrants as violent criminals moonlighting as refugees. How about you live in an apartment next to gang members that are trafficking, prostitution, guns, drugs, and taking advantage of American citizens in a violent way? Border Patrol Commander at Large Gregory Bovino told News Nation. Community members have said otherwise. One resident who lived in the raided building said that most of the neighbors on his floor were Venezuelan. He said they never caused trouble and would keep the building clean when property management failed to. They were cool people, said resident Dan Jones. They didn't speak a lick of English, but we used translator apps to talk to each other. In the aftermath of the raid, apartments were ransacked, valuables stolen, and several residents said their homes were left inhabitable. It looks like hell, Jones told the Block Club Chicago ICE, really just a gang. Belongings also left strewn across hallways, zip ties, blood stains were found on the floors, and strangers have even squatted in some of the apartments. Stuff was everywhere, said Watson. You could see people's birth certificate and papers all over. Water was leaking into the hallway. It was wicked crazy. Trump has announced that the National Guard will be deployed to Chicago soon. In recent weeks, he touted his violent crime intervention in Washington, D.C. as an immense success and previously signaled he would be sending troops to other Democrat-ran cities that he flagged as violent and dangerous. He stated Chicago should be used as training grounds for U.S. military and National Guard. State leaders have fiercely pushed back at the idea and threatened to launch legal battles if Trump follows up on that pledge. All right. So let me get back to this. Make sure you guys, I assume everybody could hear me pretty well, pretty clear. Like I say, for everybody in the space, this is the new news toter. the new news toter page right here. We got knocked out, suspended by X. So if you're in this space and used to follow news toter, please go ahead and follow as well too, as we have to rebuild up the platform because they did not like the actual post we had about Charlie Kirk that went viral and garnered over 2 million views. So please, once again, if you were following news toter, make sure you go ahead and follow us once again. Now, P. Ray, based off that article that I read, is there anything you or Arthur, either one, you guys want to go ahead and hit on that?
Yes. So we got a video of a woman who was saying they put the gun in her face and all that. That woman is a crackhead squatter. Okay, we have people who actually live in the building who have acknowledged this. There's a video going around. They said they cleaned her up, put some glasses on her, gave her some money, and she stood out there and lied on that camera. She never lived in the building. She was actually banned from the building because her and her boyfriend were living in the electrical room. They also showed videos of this building before the raid, and it was a condemned building. They were not supposed to be living in there in the first place. Anybody who was living in there was living in a condemned building because only like the fifth floor was occupied. The rest of it was vacant. They were selling drugs. They were selling booty. They were doing everything out of that building. And it was across the street from Bouchette Elementary. So that means that little kids who are trying to go to school every day and get their lesson had to walk past all of that stuff. See, when we said that we wanted ICE here, I think that people thought that the feds were going to come and make them get in a single file line and then go into a van. No, friends, this is a military operation. So we are seeing how military operations occur. And the reason that this is happening to Black people is because they specifically put them in our communities so that when this did happen, we would join the fight and they could use us as shields. And the Chicago Negro is saying, no, we don't want to be involved. Leave us out of it. Please leave us alone, okay? We have so many other things to worry about. We are happy that the feds are here and we are working very, very hard to dismantle these lies. So when I say lies, y'all, just straight, blatant lies. Like they said that the kids were getting zip tied. They had one of a baby that had his little hands behind his back. And they were like, what kind of America is this? They're zip tying kids. But then we did the research and found out that that's actually a police officer who was teasing his son who ran out the house. And he said, no, let me get him back in the house because he on house arrest. You know what I'm saying? But the goal that they have right now is to emotionally manipulate the Negroes so that they can use our political capital to advance the illegals. And we are too smart for that. You cannot trick Chicago people. You cannot bully Chicago people, but you can offend us. And their actions are extremely offensive, and it's not going to go how they think it's going to
go. All right. Appreciate that, P. Ray. Go ahead, Arthur Cognitive. I got you next.
Yeah, the other thing, too, man, you got to understand that you can't believe damn near nothing that the Chicago Sun-Times says. They are, just like MSNBC is locked in with the Democratic Party, Chicago sometimes is in the same position. All of this stuff about the only people that they might be picking up that are Black are these dumb Black young men that are running around the streets without no ID. Okay? And they're not being held long. Across Chicago, not only Black Venezuelan immigrants are being picked up, but white people that have overstayed or have came in illegally are being picked up too. They're not telling you about that part. And then across the South Side, people are calling ICE. They're not fighting against ICE. They're calling ICE. The only people that are fighting against ICE is the Democratic establishment that is so-called running Chicago. And then Brandon Johnson has tried to recruit the Chicago police into a resistance effort, and even though they have their orders, the rank and file Chicago police on the ground is not really involving themselves with this stuff. So, bravo to Trump and bravo to the ICE people that are doing their jobs. You can't come into any other country and do this. I don't know if anybody in this space has ever been to Hong Kong, but I have. When you get to Hong Kong, you have to go through a guy that's asking you questions about your visa, how long you're going to stay there, why are you there, who you're going to see, and all this other stuff. and also where you're going to be, what hotel you're going to be staying at. If you stay 2 seconds beyond your visa, somebody's at your hotel room knocking on the door. Okay? So, you know, all of this stuff about, well, this is not American, all this other stuff, all the president, I mean, I'm not approving of everything that Trump does, but part of his job as president is to enforce the immigration law and to protect the border. Okay? All he's doing is no more than what any other country would do if you got a bunch of other people from another country bum rushing your borders.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that, Arthur. Cognitive, go ahead and unmute your mic. How you doing tonight?
What's up, brother? So, I know they got your account, so you ain't getting it back at all.
Oh no, they permanently suspended that. They didn't like that Charlie Kirk post. They made.
Yeah, I remember. That was a good one.
Hey, it was a classic, and that's why they didn't like it.
Hey, that's all it is. But I'm glad you back, brother. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna continue to support. But I just want to know. I'm just glad they, up there getting them. Because obviously, I'm not in Chicago. I'm down here in Tennessee. But I didn't know it was, as bad as it was until I started, watching news outlets and stuff like that. But my next question for Trump is, if I ever, get to ask Trump a question, when is he coming down here to Nashville? Because we got a whole nest egg of these immigrants. I'll say that. I'll lay my plane.
Well, it looks like at this point in time, like he's kind of spreading his resources. So it definitely seems like he's saying Democratic cities as well too. So I'm assuming that he's going to be moving about and everything else like that as well too. So this is the question I have to ask P. Ray and Arthur. So you're saying that because when I got that article on News Told, I was like, damn, I'm like, they're arresting, they're zip tying kids up and they're zip tying American citizens and everything else like that as well too. I understand that, they have to crack down and they're looking for the illegals, and, some of these illegals are connected to drug cartels and human trafficking and everything else as well too. Just so for, do you guys know, or have you guys heard of any black people, because, even that article there, you had black dude 67 talking about, how they were detained for hours, and, the places have been ransacked, valuables stolen and everything else like that. Have you guys heard anything like that?
Well, so let's talk about a couple of incidents. There was an incident over here on the west side on Harrison, California. A man had T-boned a woman. Well, he was still in the car. Then he T-boned a woman in an Infinity truck and then bailed out the car and tried to run. Well, friends, it just so happens that Border Patrol just happened to be driving by. So they apprehended him and held him until the Chicago Police Department could come get him. So that's the video that everybody saw with them having the black man on the ground. Here I come. With them having the black man on the ground. Because if somebody hits your car, you're going to want some type of law enforcement to come grab them until the police come as well. So that's the first incident. But then when we go to to the building, the Chicago Police Department did not assist. So they went into this completely blind. Anytime there's a raid or any type of law enforcement measure, the first thing they do is they separate the children from the parents. If I went and robbed the bank right now with my daughter in the car, when we get pulled over, the first thing they're going to do is pull her away from me. So that's regular protocol. They had to sort through who was who, but again, there weren't that many Negroes living in the building because this was a condemned building. So it's not, even though it was a big building, it wasn't like it was like 80% Negro people and 20% Venezuelans. No, it was 95% Venezuelan, 5% squatters. Okay, like this building was already not where it's supposed to be. But if the Chicago Police Department had to have been doing its job and cooperating and collaborating with the feds, it would have gone better. But guess what? Now this will never happen to them again because now all of those people are out the building. So again, the people over there are happy. The families at Bouchette Elementary are elated that that building is not there anymore because it was a safety risk on the children. So that's what I've heard. I've not heard of anybody being arrested. I'm outside every day. Nobody like, oh, we running from the fence, we running from ICE. So everybody's like, stay out their way. Just be cool. Let them do what they gotta do, and we can have a good time. This is Chicago. We are country. This is the most northern suburb of Mississippi. So people are outside, hanging out, barbecuing, grilling, drinking, smoking, twerking, whatever they want to do. Life has not changed for the Negro in the city of Chicago. Well, yeah, go to Garfield Park on the weekends. It might be a nice weekend this weekend. That's why I've been getting my signatures. P-Ray for Congress. However, we have a culture here in Chicago, especially on the west side, where we are very social and outside. And that hasn't changed. The only thing that has changed is the amount of propaganda that they are attacking us with and trying to trick us into jumping into this fight, because the Negro in Chicago has said from the beginning, this is none of our Negro business and we're not getting involved. So they have to trick and emotionally manipulate us into believing this is a black and brown fight. And then we got our mayor saying, oh, well, this is what the right wanted if they would have won the Civil War. And I'm like, no, you fool. The right was the Republican Party, which was the Union. The left was the Democratic Party, which was the Confederacy. So you don't even know what you're talking about, but you're trying so hard to push this anti-Negro twist that you just making up lies. And I think that we all see now that the emperor does not have on any clothes. So that's what I have.
Yeah.
All right, appreciate it. Let me, Arthur, real quick. Let me get the.
Let me tell you about now. I live on I'm on the southwest side.
Hey, Arthur, real quick. Let me get the QT on duty, and then I'm gonna come right back to you. QT, go ahead, unmute your mic.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're back. Yeah, they can't keep a good black man down. Peace, power, blessings, days of heaven on earth, and lineage-based cash reparations to my Black American Negro freedman family. I just wanted to say, you had said about the zip ties. There was a lady on here, she's called Pretty Poison, and there was the incident where this was alleged to have happened, the zip tie, incident happened. She herself personally went to speak to the building manager, the housing manager or whatever, and he told her there was no zip ties. No one was zip tied. And if you think about it, we know how diabolical these people are. If there was any one person that had been zip tied, don't you think that we would have had video or some kind of screenshot or image or a painting or something proving, because they love throwing black people's mugshots on the evening news. So, but there's none. And so I just wanted to say that according to Pretty Poison and other people, because she did speak to other people, and there was no zip tie, and they're just using the zip tie. I believe what happened was, to me, in my opinion, you see the zip ties in the back pockets of some of these ICE agents, and I believe they just crafted that and made this whole thing up. But and we all know that if there was anything to do with the black person in a zip tie, it would have been on the evening news, CNN, and it would have been everywhere. All the radios, magazines. It'd have been the front page news. So, but that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for letting me speak. I'm glad you're back.
Absolutely. And I just followed you, QT. So go ahead and definitely follow me back. Anybody in the space, make sure you guys following News Toter. Follow the co-host as well, too. I want to go ahead and get back to Arthur. Arthur, I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought, but go ahead, Arthur.
Yeah, yes, sir. Now, P-Ray lives on the west side. I live on the southwest side, in a middle class area. Okay, on my block, we have single family homes, 2 flats and 3 flats. I live in a 3 flat that my family owns, My family also owns a 3 flat that is directly across the street, and then the other 3 flat that is right next door to that one. Okay. Now, the 3 flat that's to the north of my house is owned by a white dude. Oh, and let me tell you, the racial mix on my block is 1/3 black, 1/3 Hispanic, and 1/3 white. Okay. There's a white dude that owns the 3 flat that's right next to the one that I live in. Okay. And he had rented his 3 flat to the city. He had 50 Venezuelans living in there. 50 of them. And they was doing all kinds of stuff. And the first person to call ICE was not a black person. It was another Hispanic. The guy's name is Taco. He fixes cars in his garage. And, you know, we talk all the time. He'd been in the country for about 15 years total. He told me it took him.
Damn, P-Ray, you got to ban me from the room? You scared?
Don't interrupt, bro.
Yeah. Whoever, yeah.
Hey, nigga, don't tell me don't interrupt, nigga. I'll bomb.
Nigga, you won't do shit. Get your bitch ass up out of here.
Got you from the space, sucker ass, and I'm from New Jersey, sucker. You know what I mean? Now get out the room, bitch.
I mean, real.
Sorry, Chicago family. Sorry, Chicago family. How y'all doing? You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, Arthur. We're sorry. Go ahead.
Shout out to all the world.
Thank you for kicking him out because he would have carried on for hours if you would have
Oh my
let
God,
him
wait,
come
hold on, sidebar. Do you know that they held a 9-hour space about me last night? Like the space went on from 6 o'clock at night till about 5 o'clock this morning. This man
Does
is
it
like,
say for hours?
and they did another space this afternoon about me as well. So I guess it's P-Ray week on X. So y'all be sure to go to their spaces.
Yeah. Sound like you got a secret admirer.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Go
Yeah, but they are crashing out over little old me on the west side, minding my own business.
Don't even trip on it. P-Ray, stay on up here too, because we want to keep you as a speaker as well too.
Oh, no, I thought I was. I'm just sitting on the stage. I was listening to y'all talk, and then I saw I wasn't on the stage.
Yeah, you had dropped down. I don't know if something happened, but you know how janky these spaces are. But definitely, and Arthur, I'm sorry because we didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought.
I didn't want to interrupt you. I just wanted to say that's what that's about.
No,
He's just a weirdo.
No problem.
Yeah, check for updates. Y'all on the phone. Check for updates. Restart your phone. Come back.
Hey, Arthur, you got it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. So anyway, Taco was telling me, he said, look, he said, I've been in this country 15 years. It took me 6 years to get my green card and then another 6 years to become a citizen. And he was more pissed off about the immigrants coming to him than the black people was. I mean, he was really incensed, okay? And so 1 week after Trump got into office, the calls from my block started going to ICE. ICE was over there the following week, and they cleaned that place out within a...
Oh, shoot. What happened? We done lost. Hold on, y'all. We lost the... Let me get back into space. I don't know what happened.
It's right in your face here in this city. All of this migrant crap, okay? And so we have, I don't know how all of this negative, wrong, lying propaganda is coming out about Chicago, where you got all of these citizens resisting ICE. I have seen none of that. The only thing that I've seen here in Chicago is citizens cooperating with ICE, not resistance.
Now, Arthur, you said something about the fact that the white guy rented out his place to 50 Venezuelans. How big?
50 of them.
How big?
He was getting
how big? Real quick, how big was this place that fit 50 Venezuelans in it?
Well, in Chicago, first of all, a lot of the 3 flats are brick, okay, and they're old school. There are a lot of, like the building that I live in was built in the 1920s, okay. So these apartments are pretty big. You understand? I mean, some of these apartments are like, they have like 1,100 square feet in some cases. P-Ray on the west side, there's some west side buildings out in her part of town. They have humongous sized apartments.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So they are over on Polk and Independence.
Yeah.
And they're about to go. Like, the West Side is not for any of this, y'all. When they tried to move them to Austin, in the Park District House, 1,000 members of the community came out and all cussed out the alderman at the same time, and they canceled all the plans. So we since the beginning, we were never on board with this. However, I was also told that it was the landlord in that building in South Shore that called, and that the landlords around the city are calling, because initially the city of Chicago gave them like 6 months of rent, and then they stopped giving them money. And so now the landlords want to evict, but they don't have the opportunity to do so, because in order to evict somebody, you got to have a lease, you got to have their ID in order for them to get served. Well, these people don't have IDs, and they don't have leases, so there's no way for the Cook County Sheriff to evict them, and now they're stuck in these people's buildings, running up their lights, heat, gas, mortgage, taxes, everything. So the landlords have to call ICE in order to have any type of eviction justice. It's crazy.
Yeah, and the landlords cannot turn off the utilities while people are in the building, whether they're legal tenants or not.
Okay, that's great to know. Everybody in the space, make sure y'all retweet the space out. Let everybody know that we're live. Retweet the space out. Let everybody know that we're live. In terms of the crime aspect and the drug aspect, because we hear that quite a bit up there, and we know that there are quite a bit of Mexican gangs and cartels and things of that nature up there. Now, you heard in that article I was reading, you heard and I'm assuming the person is black. They were saying, well, we don't see much crime from these people, and they kept the building clean and this and that or whatever. What's your experience up there with some of the illegals in terms of the crime issue?
It's off the chain, because so one day me and my homie were at LaFollette Park, which is on the west side in Austin, in the neighborhood where the mayor lives. We're sitting out there minding our own business, drinking this juice that he bought. He's like, "Come on, let's go to the park." We both have teenagers, so he's like, "Okay, they can go and hang out in the park, and we're gonna try this juice." So we're sitting there minding our own business. I say this 3 times because it's very important to realize we're minding our own business. Behind us is this massive soccer game going on, and it's a bunch of Hispanics, right? So a Chicago police officer pulls up on the sidewalk in front of us in a Park District pickup truck and says, "No drinking in the park." I'm like, "How you know I'm drinking in the park? This ain't liquor." He's like, "I bet if I tasted it, it would be." I said, "Here, take a sip." So we laugh about it. I said, "But why you over here bothering us? And they over there with all the Modelo's." And he like, "Well, we try not to really engage them because we know that if we arrest them, then they will be flagged and then immigration could come pick them up." So the Chicago Police Department was helping them evade crimes. And this is why the crime rates are written down as low, because they are purposely going out of their way not to charge them with crimes. They are doing all kind of stuff here, y'all. Third world chaos. Raping women on the sidewalk, setting folks on fire, killing people, shooting women in the head in the alleys, getting high on the sidewalk, having butcher knife fights on Michigan Avenue. You name it is going down in the city of Chicago right now. And we don't do this. Like, Chicago has its own, like I said, we are very country up here. So we got country problems. People might fight, cuss each other out, throw bricks at whatever. But we ain't having knife fights on Michigan Avenue. You understand? Like, they gotta go. We have been saying that Chicago has already made up its mind. I don't understand why our government is acting like these people aren't as violent as they are. Like, we don't even want to put our kids on the CTA bus or put them on the train because you don't know what's going to happen. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. And I need America to continue to help us. Keep calling and send them to Chicago. 866-DHS2-ICE, 866-347-2423. See something and say something today, because the life you save might be your own. This is not a game, Chicago. This is not a game, America. We really trying to save ourselves from a real life third world invasion.
Good Lord, it's that bad up there to the point that
Yes.
Yes.
Listen. I was in another space, news toter, and Mark Carter had said that some immigrant was so bold that he publicly executed someone. I guess it was, around all, their Mexican. I just call them Mexicans because they hate that. But around all these Mexican people and executed someone over there in Chicago. So yeah, it's bad.
Only 4 blocks north of my house, there was a clash between legal Mexicans that were in a gang and some of these trendy Ragra folks, Venezuelan gangs. And 2 of the trendy Ragra people got shot and killed right there on 55th and Western. I don't know if you heard about that, P. Ray. That happened last year.
I remember. I'm telling you, these people off the chain. I remember when they shot the women in the alley. Shot the 3 women in the alley, and then one woman lived and went and knocked on somebody's door with bullet holes in her skull. Like, this stuff is really happening in Chicago. Like, this is not a game whatsoever. They killed a man and encased his body in concrete. You understand? Like, listen, do you all think that we were just doing all of this just for the hell of it? Do you know how difficult it is to get the attention of the President of the United States of America? Do y'all think that this was an easy feat? It was not. It took work. We had to go to D.C. We had to get on TV. We had to shake a hand, make a friend, get in this room, talk to this person in the corner. If we didn't put in this groundwork, Chicago would be definitely taken over right now, and the Negroes would be fleeing the city because their goal was to get us out the city because we won't do what they say, so they can import new people who then get registered to vote when they go get an ID, because in Illinois, you go get an ID, it automatically registers you to vote, and then they get the same ID we get, so now they're added to the voter rolls and the census rolls, which then help the government but harms us. No, we're not doing that. So we worked hard, we made it happen, and now it's time for everybody to go. Now America can see the fruit of our labor.
Absolutely. P. Ray and Arthur, y'all stay right there. I'm gonna get to Original and QT, and then we're gonna come back to you guys. Original, what's going on with you tonight?
Hey, welcome back, News Toter, and good evening to the room. I just want to back up what Arthur said. When I lived in California, I worked with Mexicans who came over here the right way. They too did not support this illegal immigration. People just coming over here and wanting to stay, ain't got nothing. They just want to break into the country and come over here. So you found a lot of them. That's how they feel. And they want to try to make it seem as if those people are wrong, that they're doing this, that, and whatever. And I also heard about that situation where they shot this person in the head and encased him in concrete. There's an article out there referencing that. But see, the fake news media, they don't want to talk about that. You know what's going on with that. They keep, and this is why it is so important. People see the Democrats had to lose. Kamala had to lose last year because if Kamala hadn't lost last year, the whole damn country would be flooded with illegal aliens from Central and South America. We would be out of it. And this is why it is so important, people, that we continue to galvanize, organize, and strategize with one another on social media across this country so that we can keep these people out of here. They're trying to make Donald Trump out to be the boogeyman, but the real boogeyman are these damn Democrats. They don't give a damn about Black Americans. How in the hell can you sit up there and say that you can allow these illegal aliens to come over here? And also too, let me share this with y'all. I hate to sound like I'm babbling, but I was in a space with Mark Carter, whether yesterday or the day before. So this brother who called in from St. Louis, Missouri. See, this black lady, her name is Taisha Jones or something like that. She was elected mayor in 2021, right? And then they say they heard her on the radio. She was talking about that St. Louis is a welcoming city for immigrants, and she wanted to make St. Louis a sanctuary city. the people turned on her. She got death threats. Even some of the progressive folks turned against her, and she trying to say that that they didn't vote for her because she was a black woman. No, they didn't vote for you because people across this country don't want these illegal aliens in their cities. They are drained on resources and everything else. And so this is what we must start doing is getting, first of all, check them out if they're running initially. Don't let them into office. If they get into office and start pushing this immigration stuff, get them out as quick as you can, because they are a danger to us and they are a danger to this country. So people should understand that. And so this is why it's so important that we galvanize like this and share information with one another so that the message can get out there, because black media is lying, white media is lying, and so we have to make sure that we get the information out there. And when we have these spaces like this, take the links and save them. And when someone start talking stuff, send them the link. Say, listen to this space right here. This will give you the truth. We got people on the ground in Chicago that's talking. Listen to the people who are on the ground. They will tell you the truth. The media won't in our land.
And before I get to QT, that's why it was so important for this space. Me and DJ talked about it. We talked about it even, I think, Friday. And I was saying, I'm hearing all these crazy reports. And DJ was like, yeah, but a lot of this stuff is being debunked as well, too. And I'm like, well, damn, we got to speak to some of our people up there in Chicago and see exactly what's going on. Because, I mean, news told us we curate from other news sources, so we can only go by their actual accounts of things as well, too. So, you got to hear from the horse's mouth. And that's why it was so important. You got Arthur, you got P. Ray up there to kind of, let us know exactly what's going on. Let me go ahead and get to QT, and then I had a question posed for Arthur and P. Ray as well, too. But QT, go ahead. You got it.
Yeah, I'll be quick. I heard in a space that there are several bodies that police are looking for, but they are rumored to be encased in concrete somewhere, and they can't find the bodies and probably never will. And I posed a question in another space, and maybe someone can answer it. Why the Trump administration won't escalate and make it high priority to protect these ICE agents and National Guards from their lives being threatened, and these protesters and the deadly escalation of the protesters getting more bold with their assaults on these federal employees. They're doxing their information, putting their families' pictures out. These protesters are just doing all kinds of egregious things, and I'm just wondering why Tom Homan has spoke about them being in danger, and even him, they've threatened his life. He's getting death threats on a daily, and I just it could all be put to a stop if Trump. Is there a way of executive order that he could do, or is it some kind of legal challenge that he cannot? Because these people know that they can't. I mean, they're just getting arrested and that's it. There should be prison time for this. And that's all I had to say. And thank you for letting me speak.
You made a great point, because I saw a video, QT, that was circulating. It was the and P. Ray, you might have been one of the ones that actually retweeted out. I saw the actual black ICE agent was being confronted in a threatening manner. I think by I don't know if it was an illegal or just a regular Hispanic, but the black dude, he didn't really take it lightly. He ended up grabbing your boy and subduing him.
Yeah, and beat him up. So they actually have a bounty on that man's head. I know his last name is Simmons, but even me, like, talking on social media, I get a lot of pushback from Mexicans, okay? I'm not saying Hispanics, specifically Mexicans, and they like to remind me that I'm a descendant of a slave and that I should be aligned with them against ICE because this is the same government that enslaved my people. And I'm just like, you guys are a bunch of Negrophobes. Guess where I wasn't a slave at? In Mexico. You understand me? I'm an American citizen.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
But yeah, it's just a lot of heavy Negrophobia comes out of the Mexican community about this. And that's something that we're going to have to eventually address. They think that it's okay to just try to assault you with your own trauma because you won't align yourself with their foreign flag. And I blame us in a way for this. I give us grace, but I blame us for this because we've allowed foreign Black people to come in and speak on behalf of the Negro, and they're also speaking to third world interests because they're not American, so they're not rooted in the same way that we are. But yeah, that's what I'm getting out of these people. That's why I'm at my business. I stay in my house, I'm in a whole other space now, nobody know where I live really, because I have to be careful. These people are going crazy. They just locked up one of the leaders of the Latin Kings because he put a $10,000 bounty on the Border Patrol chief's head, and then $2,000 for any person who could just shoot a Border Patrol person or something like that. So now he downtown in the Metropolitan Correctional Center, which is the feds. So we know that this is what type of time they own too. And it's not fair for us to have to be terrorized just for utilizing the government. But if you think about it, it's the same thing our ancestors went through dealing with Democrats in the South. They terrorize you when you want to get help from the federal government and then try to play mental games with you while physically attacking you. That's why we got to dump the Dems. I'll end there.
Yes, man. I want to read this comment real quick too from YouTube. And my girl Tasha said the residents know damn well that they were there for those gang members. They took over the building. The person who said they were cool sounded crazy. So shout out to Tasha over there on YouTube as well. Go ahead, QT.
I just wanted to say, I'm like I was saying about Trump, he should have sent in military tanks, and I think that I should be able to use deadly force because they're trying to kill these people, these law enforcement agents, and I'm wanting to know why there are not more police escorts. Because if ICE cannot use deadly force, then the police escorts could do that. And it's all this could be solved, with. It's going to take more military power to me, and I just hope that it won't escalate to the point of, because they're these immigrants. I mean, not immigrants. They're not immigrants. They're enemy combatants. They're foreign freeloaders and foreign agitators. Are deadly, and they're when they run from the police, they are. I saw videos where they jump in cars. They're getting on top of buildings, risking people's lives to try to get them down, or it's only a matter of time before they jump in their vehicle and run over some people. The video I saw, several of the Mexicans jumped into and videotaped them driving like a bat out of hell, trying to escape apprehension. So, yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. And everybody in the space, we need you guys to go ahead and make sure you follow News Total. Make sure you follow News Total. This is the new News Total page. We got dinged by X. So we definitely need you to go ahead and follow this new account. Help us get back to we had about almost 13,000 followers. Help us get back to that as much as possible. I had a question for Arthur and P. Ray as well too. And my girl QT, she just disappeared on us, but maybe QT will be back. But my question is this right here. QT mentioned something about, bringing the tanks and stuff like that into the city. We saw with the whole thing in DC, the pushback that you had with a lot of Black people saying, hey, you know what, we feel like we're being targeted, and that this is only happening to cities that are considered to be majority Black cities, Democrat cities, and everything else of that nature as well too. What's the general consensus when you're talking to the other Black people? And I know you guys can't speak for every single solitary Black resident in Chicago. But what seems to be the general consensus when you start hearing people talk about bringing in the the federal government coming in and ICE and everything else like that, troops coming in and stuff like that. How do Black people feel about that? Do they feel like they're being targeted in particular? Are they welcoming a federal troops coming in there and trying to tidy up? I mean, just what's the actual pulse with Black Americans in Chicago right now?
So this weekend, I went to a church on Madison and Laramie in the Austin community, Pastor Abercrombie's church. They were giving away household goods and clothes. So it was like a long line. I'm talking about y'all, they giving out mirrors, dining room sets, air fryers, clothes, gym shoes, you name it, they got it out there. So you know, line wrapped around the block. I'm out there, I'm getting my signatures. Now, I'm doing this as a Republican, and my Democrat opponent, he got his crew out there, and they're getting, so it's like 5 of them and 1 of me. Let me tell it, just go along with me. So I'm going through the line, person by person, introducing them, passing them my board, telling them what I'm on. I'm telling them my main goal for running is that I want to get the people home who are not supposed to be here as safely and quickly as possible so that we can put the American people in the housing that they're currently occupying, because there's too many Americans outside. And if you want to get in a low-income apartment in Chicago, you got to move to Iowa first. And they didn't make them move to Iowa. When I said that, people said, yes, I'm ready to sign, and tell those Democrats to scratch my name off their boards. Yes, we are happy that the tank's here. Get their ass out of here. Lock them up. Send them home. It's time to go. They in the way. Then it's a Mexican lady standing in line with me, right? So there's this one woman, she's telling me how she's really unhappy that the immigrants are here, or I shouldn't call them an immigrant because all immigrants are not bad, that the illegals are here. She's not happy that they're here. They take up space. They're taking the housing. They took all the food stamp money. She needs the money. She's lost her son. She lived in the projects. They tore down her building. They didn't rebuild it. She never really found stability. She's going on and on and on. So there's a Mexican woman behind her, maybe in her late 20s. She said, I'm not a bad person, and I belong here, and we're neighbors, and we're all together, and we should be like this. So the lady say to her, and I got a little bit of this on film, so I might post it in the Jumbotron. But the lady say to her, if you was born here, what hospital you was born at? The lady say, what? She said, what hospital you was born at? Anybody in Chicago, you ask them what hospital you born at, everybody know they hospital. So then one lady shouted out, yeah, I was born at St. Bernard's. Another lady was like, yeah, I was born at the county. So they're like, so where you was born at? So she's like, well, I don't really want to say. They're like, yeah, because you wasn't born here. That's why. So then I'm trying to get my board back from her because you got to write your address. She didn't even know her address. You understand me? She said, I live on Laramie and Lake. And we're like, okay, but like, what's the numbers? Like, that's an intersection, but like, where do you stay? Because she was not from here. So I give y'all that whole story to say, everybody ready for them to go home. People were mad that they were there. They say, this is supposed to be for us. It's for, they come here illegally. They get the money. They get the housing. They got cars. They let their kids in the school. The little bit that they want to try to give us, here they go again. So yes, everybody is fed up, America. We are fed up, and it's not a Hispanic thing. You understand me? Anytime you have an influx or an invasion of a group of people onto a group of people who are, just stable enough, that completely destabilizes the entire space and makes everybody uncomfortable. Like, their presence has created a massive housing issue in the city of Chicago. It's people, I'm telling you, we've never been this stable or unstable, because they tore down the houses, and the housing that they have left, they pushed it out to them. They get a different number. So when you call 311 and you say that you're homeless, there were like case numbers. So there was a group of case numbers for Americans, and then a group of case numbers for the illegals. My homie and his wife, or no, my homie and her husband and their daughter went to 301 to get some family housing. They had to switch their case number from an American case number to a case number for illegals in order to get priority housing status. And they can tell you the story. So that's how they ended up getting housing. That can't be, y'all. That can't be. How you come over here and get priority status over the American people who are already homeless, who have social security numbers, who were born here? Like, that's not right. So that's what we're dealing with here. This has nothing to do with anything but money and resources for the people of Chicago. Please, everybody, keep that in mind. We don't. It's not that we cold-hearted people, and we don't care about the people who are, fleeing persecution. But at the end of the day, like, we have to survive and get stable first. And once we stabilize ourselves and get everything that we are entitled to as a district, then we can open our doors and give people what we have left over. And I'll end there.
Absolutely. Thank you. I see we got Mark up in here as well too. Mark, man, this is the new news total page. I got Dean. I need you to go ahead and give me that follow back as well too. We got DJ. Go ahead. You hadn't had a chance to speak as well too, and Arthur. We ain't forgot you either. Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, let me turn this TV down for a minute. Apologies. Now, the folks can speak. I just wanted to ask P-Ray some questions since she was talking to Lingo about pretty much the politics of business and how these folks got this housing. Because I'm trying to tell these New Jerseyans, P-Ray, it's the same thing going on. I was just literally homeless for the first time in my life. And I'm not afraid to say that because of these tethers. You feel what I'm saying? I could not find an apartment in Essex County. I got flooded out. So all I got to do is go find another spot. That should be easy. Ain't even no Black Americans that are around my way anymore that even own houses or any of that. It's all tether gang around here. So it's like I've been bombing this same information for years. So it's like, trying to convince and tell folks over here in New Jersey, hey, look, this is really happening. But we really deal with the Pan-African indoctrination over here in the tri-state area. So it's like when you go outside and try to talk to people about this, you're going to get the ultimate pushback. Even though a lot of our Negro people know we suffering out here. And just to go back to what you said about the housing, this is why I employ all of y'all, regardless if you suffering or not, to go sign up for Section 8, HUD, DCA in your community immediately. Go do it, because Joe Biden gave the tether gang everything. Don't forget the receipts we saw, $13,500 in EBT and $5K in cash. I don't know if it was AI or what, but yeah, we know, but for allegedly, shout out to Allah, you know what I'm saying? Allegedly, but yeah, go ahead, whoever want to speak. I don't want to take up the space, man, because it ain't about me. Shout out to Chicago, man.
All right. We got Original with his hand up. First, I'm gonna see if Mark. Mark, do you want to? Mark, you or Carrie, y'all want to say anything?
Say it again.
Mark, you want to? I know you don't have your hand up, but I know you've been having a couple spaces. I saw some that you had about the zip tie and all that stuff. What's going on with you, Mark? How's everything hanging up there? And too bad Carrie, because I didn't want Carrie to drop down, but hopefully she'll come back up as well too. But we got P-Ray up in here, we got Arthur Ward up in here, and they've been telling us, some of the happenings and what's not really happening up there in Chicago as well too. You weren't in the space when I read this this article that came off the site News Total, one of our curation partners, and he was talking about Black people being zip tied, kids being zip tied, separated from their parents, and everything else up there as well too. And P-Ray and Arthur, they've pushed back on that whole thing about the mistreatment of Black Americans up there in Chicago. So you're up there, and I know you're pretty active in the community as well too. So and I know you've been holding some of these spaces as well too. So I just kind of want to get your opinion on what's going on up there, and how serious and how is it impacting Black people? Are Black people being victimized up there in Chicago, or is this just a fabrication by the media?
Well, let me first say, thanks for having us in your space. But when it comes to these immigrants, we are pro. Come get them all. Get them out of here. We don't believe in black and brown here. We're not crying for these people, and they can't get them out of here fast enough. They all need to be deported back to Africa, Mexico, Israel, Poland, whatever countries they come from, China, India, get them out of here. It's causing a destabilization of our economy. It is causing this whole shutdown that's happening across the country. And some of our own American people feel as though that there's nothing wrong with bringing these people in to overload our system. And we don't want to take this and keep it so focused on the zip tie. No, let's go back to where it all started. Let's talk about the fact that Joe Biden said open the borders after Abbott, the governor of Texas, said to him, look, to open these borders will cause a flood into this country. And eventually, these people are going to become a big problem. Trump said it around the whole January 6th debacle. If you let these people steal the election, they're going to flood the country with immigrants. And that's exactly what they did. And see, they want you to cry about the zip tie, and forget all about everything that led up to the zip tie. They don't want you to have the conversation about these mayors under Cities for Action. And please put up City for Action so y'all know where I'm coming from with this. No Kings, where over 2,000 cities where the mayors agreed to bring in immigrants to overthrow and run Americans out of these cities. I don't want to talk about no damn zip ties if we're not going to talk about Joe Biden and these sanctuary city mayors who said bring them to their cities. Even though the schools were all messed up already in these major majority black cities. The people were homeless, from veterans to children going to school. Unemployment was higher than depression, and then you're going to bring all these people here? No. Let's talk about all of that before we have this discussion about the zip tie. And the zip tie is a whole nother conversation where everybody want to all of a sudden cry about their constitutional rights. You didn't care about your constitutional rights when you were in agreement and voting for Kamala Harris to bring in more immigrants. You didn't care about your constitutional rights then. So we're not going to take this and make it about your little few. It's okay to zip tie them for a few minutes while they get them illegals up out of there. It's okay to violate your constitutional rights for a few minutes. You ain't that important that it hurts you that bad that they had you stand outside for a minute while they combed through that building and got those evil, murderous people out of there. And why is it that you care nothing about your constitutional rights under the Democrats bringing these people in, but when it was time to get them out, and because they were Republicans, all of a sudden your constitutional rights came up in the conversation. Let's stay consistent, right? And when it comes to these immigrants, get them out of here. Get their children out of here. Even if they're legal, if the children were legally born here, to parents who came here illegally or either were on expired visas, those children, and they don't break the families up. The whole family need to be deported. This is what we must say. And you know why we must say it, News Talk? For the future of our babies. The future of our babies depend on what we do today, right now. Because some of the very people who are saying, these people here for a better life, and it's racist, what ICE is doing, putting these children and their families in these detention centers. And well, aren't these the same people who say put black children in juvenile detention centers? Aren't these the same liberal black folks and these liberal whites who said put black children in juvenile detention centers that want us to cry for immigrant children. And last but not least, I have to say this part. And this is to the mayor of Chicago. You mean to tell me you think that we're going to stand with you while you protect illegal immigrants? You're going to go against the federal authorities to protect illegal immigrant gang members, while at the same time you work with the federal authorities to lock black people up. Now that's the part I don't think that we've been paying attention to. That they are literally protecting these people who broke federal law and have killed people in this country. But when it comes to black Americans, these mayors across the country are working with the federal government to continue to charge black people federally and Americans in general. And so I don't think that we could have a better day and time than have Trump, Tom Homan, all these types of people who believe in America first. And to all the black people who may be in this space or listen later on, if you care that much about these people, then when they're deported, you should leave with them. You should follow them, since you care about them and not America. Thank you.
All right, appreciate that, Mark. Mark, like I say, don't forget to go ahead and follow me back as well too. My reach is not as long since I got knocked by X, so I definitely need all the new followers as possible. Anybody in this space that's not following News Toter, please go ahead and follow. Right now, like I said, we're having to rebuild everything back up because of X knocking it down because of the Charlie Kirk post, but we definitely need that support again to build the platform back up here on X. Original, and then I want to ask you, I want this question here too, because P Ray, I believe P Ray says something to the effect that do you have actual illegals up there putting bounties on federal agents' heads now and stuff like that as well too in Chicago?
And not just that. If you pay attention to what they're doing when those cars come through, they're knocking the windows out of those federal cars. And that's how that girl got shot. That's how the Hispanic girl got shot. They were trying to run them off the road and corner them and kill them. I mean, these are vicious people. These people come from savage environments, savage countries. They'll kill you. They'll chop you up. And so, we're dealing with dangerous people. Yes, they're putting bounties out. This is who they are. These are savages. They come from savage countries. We have to get them out of here for the sake of our children. All that old liberal, love everybody, we're not in a day and time where we can have those types of mindsets. No, man, that's dangerous when it comes to these people. Ask the people in California. And some of them are too ashamed to speak the truth of why they moved from California. Because they were part of bringing in these immigrants into California. They were crying for them more than they were crying for their own families. And then those immigrants turned on them after they used them up. So yes, these are very dangerous people. They should be deported and violently deported if need be, because they're very violent.
Appreciate that. Original, let me get to Jess Cakes real quick. She's from Chicago. I'm going to go ahead and get to her. Jess Cakes, what's up? I sent you that invite. Good to hear from you. I know it's been a little hot minute. I hope you're doing okay.
Hey, what's up, News Caller? What's up, fam? How y'all doing?
What's up now?
I just had a quick question to my people from Chicago, P. Ray and Mark. I call ICE on my neighbors every day, and they like either the phone is busy or I just can't get nobody on the phone. We got Venezuelans a few blocks.
Tag them on over here on the internet. That's how I get them up out of New Jersey. Post them over here. Over there, bro.
Nah, I'm from out west. But I call ICE all the time. They ass don't come. I be trying to get my Venezuelan neighbors from down the street, trying to get them out the tank. Because here it is, they say these is hardworking people, and if you're from Chicago, you already know when these people first got here, they were above the law. Okay, if they hit you with their car and stuff like that, the police will come out. Now, if we get caught without no driver's license or insurance, our car getting impounded and we going to jail. These people, they don't get nothing. They tell them to park their car and that's it. So that's all I hear. I really truly want to know how to get in contact with ICE to actually bring them out. And the other thing is, since Brandon Johnson want to sign this BS executive order saying that ICE can't use public spaces, which is garbage, I want to volunteer my property, both of them. If they need a staging area, I'm more than willing to help them out. I have no problem with that.
Yes, ma'am, and thank you. And Just Cakes, I followed you too, so I need you to follow this new account as well. But yeah, Mark P. Ray, y'all got any advice how she could get in touch with ICE as well too?
I would recommend that she find out where the ICE office is in her area and actually just drive up. Since you can't get them on the phone, say pay them a visit and let them know what's up in your area.
So just
also, if you go to the ICE website, you might get better traction because the online team has to process all of those coming in, whereas the phone people, somebody got to answer the phone. So if you write it, you probably get a better chance at getting ICE out there. But you got to keep trying, keep pushing. And like what Arthur said, I wouldn't recommend going over there with them people at all. Stay out their way. But write it, send it through as a written tip on the website, and you might have better response.
Hey, let me jump in there real quick.
Yeah, that's what I came up to say, P. Ray. You don't have to wait on the phone because it's a landline. I mean, it's a operator. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna go to the app. Thanks.
Yeah, let me say, anything that got to do with making a phone call to the government right now is a no-no because the government is shut down. So even with that being said, Trump was already advocating for smaller government. So I'm locked into the system personally myself, and I try to call to certain places that's government state in New Jersey. There's no phone, everything answer machine. And if you're in a Democrat city, they definitely not picking up the phone because they more or less don't even have an ICE person in that office, in that facility down there that ICE is supposed to be in. And if that is not true, because, not to say if that's not true, look at the same scenario where Roz Baraka over here in Brick City, North New Jersey, had recently went through with ICE. You over here at a detention facility, Delaney Hall, which has been shut down for over a decade. Negroes got it shut down because it had our people in there dealing with rats, mold, roaches, all this other stuff. ICE just recently leased the property from whoever the owner is. So ICE has jurisdiction over this particular Delaney Hall. So Roz Baraka, why is you and LaMonica McIver over there advocating for these tellers? You know what I'm saying? You over here hitting these ICE agents in the back, LaMonica. You going to jail, sister, you know what I'm saying? And I don't even care because our former district leader, Donald Payne Jr., rest in peace, shout out to the Payne family, he would have never been out there with Roz, yo. You crazy? Advocating for some tellers that don't even belong here or don't pay no taxes or remittances of anything. All that is a lot. All that stuff these folks saying they pay taxes, that's a lot. Mexicans sent $31 billion back in the first quarter of 2024. How is they paying any taxes? And when Joe Biden was talking about infrastructure, well, who did you think was going to pay for that? The teller gang, but we ain't understanding the other side of that either. But both sides playing the same fist, you know what I'm saying? Republicans, Democrats, they both want us up out of here, big. Straight up, but yeah, go ahead. Ain't no one picking up the phone, sister. Tag them over here, they over there. You know what I'm saying? Make a fake account. Tag ICE, crazy, they over there. You know what I'm saying? They gonna check it out. You know what I mean?
All right, let me get the original, then I want to get the QT. Let me get the QT first because it seems like she's having some connection issues, and then I'm gonna come right back to you, original.
I sure did. I ended up having to switch to the app. I won't take long. I just wanted to address who it was. Yes, the 800 number is like the old system. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like dial-up. It's just a mess. You might have to. It might hang up on you. It might drop your call. It takes forever. 3 minutes on their website. ICE, the tip line. Just make sure you have all the details. They really just ask for the age, where they are. If you can give as much description as you can, addresses if you can. You can also do it anonymously, but I didn't. Make sure I screenshot, but if you want, make sure that you screenshot your, after they, usually they'll give you a little prompt, thank you for, reporting. But just, it's much better to do it that way because it only takes 3 minutes and there's no hassle whatsoever. Just report them. Just keep reporting them. But that's one more thing. They only allow you to report one incident at a time. And like I said, they ask for age, description, where these illegals are, things like that. And that's all I had to say. And the reward thing. It is very discretionary for ICE. ICE to turn in illegals. It's at their discretion if you will get a monetary reward for turning them in. You can, but I haven't, because I have over 51 reports that I've done, and I haven't gotten anything yet. But it's up to their discretion, so it must be some kind of conditions or requirements to meet before they, because there's a rumor out about $750 to $2,000 per immigrant, but it is a reward, but it's discretionary. But just like I said, screenshot. So if anything does, come about, you'll have your receipts that that you are who you say you are, and you can show the screenshots, and that's all. Thanks.
Okay, QT, real quick, I gotta ask you this. You said that 50. You now did you actually? You say did you turn in 51? Were they actually?
I've turned in since January. I turned in 51. I've been able to just, I've had Mexicans that come through to do work on other people's, and I would go and write their tags down. And that's the other thing, carry a piece of paper or a notebook and a pen with you, or, if you feel comfortable and you're safe, take pictures, keep your phone with you at all times, because you'll pull up at Walmart and there'll be 3 cars. And that's how I was, so successful, because there'd be 3 cars that I would see them, because, that's where they all are, going to Walmart and going grocery shopping, spending them $15,000. So, stay safe, stay in your car, or just memorize the tag number, the make of the car, what it looks like, things like that, any, identifying markers, and, how many people were in the car or what they look like, and they want the age, just an approximation age of the age. But yes, I've done 51 separate ICE tip line reports. I sure have. And I'm looking to do 5,100. So thanks.
Good Lord. Let me go ahead and get to let me get the original. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, QT, she said what I was going to share, for just cakes, is that, it's best to go online and submit that stuff, because, and even I think ICE already said too, that it's best to go online and submit those. It's like a reporting form that, yeah. And so, but what I also want to share with people, so go into the Purple Pill, and you can see whereby I put in like three images, and one of them is like the long and violent history of anti-Black racism in the Latino community. That article was written. One of the contributors to that article is Tanya K. Hernandez. She's an Afro-Latino, and she has been writing about racism in the Latino community. I think she has like about 3 or 4 books out there. And then the other one is where they was running an ethnic cleansing campaign on Black Americans, and in LA, and it's entitled "Latinos Leader Silence is Killing Blacks." And when they was doing this, you know, the leadership stayed silent, and those low down Pan Africans, they wasn't saying anything either. This is why we cannot link up with these damn Pan Africans, these tethers and other folks. They're not with us. See, when I lived in California, I'm originally from Georgia, which is where I am now. But when I lived in California, these Pan Africans, they was going around saying like, well, California belongs to Mexico, and this is why people are saying that Pan Africanism is nothing but a government operation. They were saying that they just reclaiming their land. But then when you say, well, wait a minute now, I thought you all said that we are that black people are the first people on this planet, and that we are the first people on this planet, and we migrated all over this planet. Then whose damn land is that in it? Whose land is Mexico and whose land is America? Wouldn't that be ours? They don't want to have that conversation. And then there's a third one there whereby these black folks that were living in government housing in Los Angeles, they was being bombed out. And this was part of that ethnic cleansing thing. They was being bombed out of their home by these Latino so-called gang members, but I think it was just the Latinos in general, where they was bombing these people out of. See, when you're renting a government apartment, a house, whatever, they will place you anywhere, and they placed these people, some of these black folks, in the area where it was heavily dominated by Mexicans or whoever, you know, and that's what they was doing to the black people there. So when you all hear people like Mark, P. Ray, and Arthur, and QT, they're telling you these things, and Just Kate, they're telling you these things about these people, you better believe them and understand that our people don't lie to us. And you better understand that you cannot trust the media, especially black media. Don't forget, people, when Al Sharpton was exposed as being an FBI informant, black media didn't want to have that conversation, because I got some clips whereby I went on some of these black media websites looking for the articles. No articles found about Al Sharpton being an FBI informant. Y'all see how they work? Black media. Let me rephrase that. Old black media is not our friend. No, they are not. They are working in concert with the Democrats to do us in. They have never been our friend, and that's why we have to move away from them. It is great how we have galvanized, organized, and strategized on social media. This is why what's going on now with Donald Trump is going on, because the Democrats, we dumped it. We did to the Democrats what they did to us. We dumped them. If you're not going to represent us, you don't get our vote. So I just want people to understand that we have to start moving differently and understand that we can only trust the people that are on the ground in these areas like Chicago. Because the regular news media, whether they be black, white, or whatever, they are compromised by the Democrats. And I'm gonna land with that.
All right, appreciate that, original. Let me go ahead and get to QT again. And anybody else that's in the listener section that wants to come up and speak, come on up here, get it in while we got the space going as well tonight. This is the second space that we've had since last week, since I returned from that suspension or that ban, the ban that they put on News Toter. So this is the new News Toter page right here. So definitely go ahead and follow. For anybody that's in the space that used to follow this new page. We got to rebuild it up, guys, through hard work again. So go ahead and follow, and we'll continue to put out the content. Still the largest black-owned, Black American news media curation platform to date in America. Let me go ahead and get the QT.
I just wanted to piggyback off what I said earlier. What I did was, to get my numbers up, you search for these immigrants, restaurants, food trucks. Just put it in when you go do your search. You are going to be shocked when you see all those red dots pop up on your map of all of the African hair braiding. I mean, I compared this from years ago till now. I mean, it's like 50-fold of how many. It's so many Mexican restaurants, laundromats. I'm just giving you a list of what I found. Schools. When you see a lot of these immigrants at these, because it is lawful now for ICE to raid churches and schools. I went on and I put in just separate things that I was looking for. They got insurance agencies. They have laundromats. Like I said, just write all these things down so that you can turn them in and report them to ICE on website, online. It only takes 3 minutes, and that's how easy it only takes 3 minutes. When you're driving around in your city or whatever, even in your neighborhood, because my mother lives in a Black majority neighborhood, and these Mexicans have taken over, and you can tell who they are because there's so many work trucks in a 1-bedroom house, and you see 15 trucks out there, and it's usually just trash. Even the Africans, they have a lot of cars and junk cars, and it's filthy. Most of their houses are filthy, and it's bringing down the property value. So just ride around your neighborhood, takes screenshots if it's safe, and just write the address down and any other information and details that I saw. And what I did to keep me legally sound, I suspect that these are illegal immigrants or illegal aliens. I suspect, or I allege that I saw this or I saw that in Walmart. Like I said, they're training. As a matter of fact, today went to the grocery store, and there was a Hispanic chick getting trained by an Indian, and I, of course, did the notes and wrote down everything about this woman, and both of them actually. And I'm getting ready to do a report, so I'll have 52. So they're all over the place. You should be able to. And if they do give the monetary reward, I'm going to be rich. I'll be a rich bitch. Oh, excuse me. Thanks.
Oh my God, sister. Watch your language.
Oh, if they actually start giving out rewards, man, ain't no telling how many leads and stuff if they gave out just $200, you'd have people left and right calling, hitting them up all the time. So, DJ, I know you.
If they gave out $200, Chicago will be clear in a month. Do you hear me? People would be fighting over people to return. I mean, it's horrible to say.
Oh no, that's my sale. That's my sale.
Yeah, it's disgusting that Trump would pay $1,000 for them to self-deport, and then won't give Americans their money. But they give them $1,000 plus. It's not just $1,000 cash. It's also expenses it takes for them to leave. So I don't know if it's moving expenses or just the plane fare or whatever. But they are guaranteed, if they self-deport, they are guaranteed $1,000 plus moving expenses, and I don't know what that entails. So we should be able to get our money too. Thanks.
You ain't lying on that. If Trump, that's a bad bit. I know he's supposed to be a businessman, but that's a bad business deal right there. Forget having them self-report. Just tell Americans that, hey, I'm gonna give you $200 or $250, and you don't have to worry about paying $1,000 because you have people left and right reporting on these people here in Florida too. Jesus, go ahead, QT. $1,000
is $1 million over there in Mexico. I mean, $200 should be $100,000 in Mexico. I mean, but I, that's what angered me, and I think I did post it. Why is it that these illegal freeloaders can come over here and get all these food stamps, get all this, these goodies, and then get $1,000 to leave, but they won't even give us $750. But thank you. I'll drop back down to a listener. Thanks.
All right, we appreciate you as always coming up here, QT, as well. I appreciate everybody that's been following me as well as this space has been going on too. Keep following. Let's get that account up. Let's get those numbers back up as well, too. Go ahead, DJ. I know you had your hand up. Professor, if you want to say something as well, I know you've been chilling in the background quiet. Carrie, Miss Carrie, I know you were up here earlier just for a split second. If you want to come back up here, we will get you the microphone as soon as you come back up here as well, too. Anybody in the listener section that's down there, definitely come on up. I see, let me give a shout out to some of our people. I see Trouble down there. I see Ray down there. What's going on? I see a bunch of y'all down there. So definitely come on up here. We'll get you guys the microphone and we'll let you say what you want to say. Real quick, Nightfall says, yo, news holder, why don't we just annex Mexico as a country and dissolve their government cheaper and solves the Mexican issue overnight? That'd be a lot of people, though, man. What Mexico got about 200 million people there, 100 million people? I don't know, man. We might need to go ahead and keep them a separate entity the way they doing it right now. And, hey, let everything be everything. I see we got a new speaker coming up here.
Told her there'd be a lot of cucarachas running around here. We already got too many of them as is.
Hey, let me say this real quick. Back to what Just Cake said. So if you get in the Jumbotron, it's a lot of information there. I know, my bad, Soda, but folks need to know this is what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So, because let me say this, not even to be long-winded. In light of the Charlie Kirk situation, your page being suspended, this is all the more reason we have to understand as Negro Freemen, we need our own stuff. So come over to News Total, follow News Total, come to newstotal.com. We're not really just the account here on X, which is a WPI, White Public Institution. We have our own network, y'all. Newstotal.com, same name.com. That's it. Come up to Fund It Socially, Just Cakes. We got our violent immigrant crime watch community. All I do is tag ICE all day, every day. This is what I do. I ain't working. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do, sister. You know what I mean? So come on, you can be on the promo squad. You and Cutie on duty. Come get on the promo squad, because I ain't playing with these people over here in New Jersey. They done took from us. So with that being said, you need to follow ERO Chicago. Follow the ERO ICE pages, because they're separated from the blue check ICE immigration page over here on X. Follow ERO Chicago. Look in the Jumbotron or look in the chat or whatever the case be. Other thing is too, when y'all had issues up here, I mean, like down in Chicagoland, and y'all come up here and voice your opinion, you gotta tag these people, yo. And that's what y'all don't do. Y'all got the right complaint, but you don't tag them. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, you have to make the algorithm work for you. So with that being said, you gotta start tagging. Another thing, hashtag. That's a search. It's almost like a library card. Oh, you looking for how to build a house or whatever. Okay, let's go to the construction side. Tagging, we go get the books. It's the same thing. So other initiative you need to do is actually be on other websites. You feel what I'm saying? X ain't the only game. Trump got his own website. I've been telling y'all this. You know what I'm saying? Go to truesocial.com and voice your opinion. Hey, they over here, blah, 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 whatever. You know what I'm saying? Go over to Steve Bannon website, Getter, or whatever it's called, Getter. If you want the information, hit me in the DM. I'll tell you where it's at. And they not hiding it. You could go to the Play Store and the Google stores and all this other stuff, App Store, and download the app, True Social and Getter, GETTR or whatever, Getter or whatever. And I'm over there, say one, follow your boy. Hey, look, they over here. That's right, because at the end of the day, we didn't ask for y'all to come in our neighborhood. In that sense, you feel what I'm saying? This is something Negroes got to understand, but we act like we too fragile and frail, and they're like, oh, they just trying to live a good life like us. They ain't got no problem. Listen, forget all that. Your grandkids can't get a job at McDonald's now because 40-year-old Maria taking orders and don't even speak English. You can't even go to the grocery store nowadays without saying, oh, I don't speak no English. Damn, for real? How do you even get the job? The other argument I'm blessing on or trying to hit on is that how is these folks able to come here with nothing, right? You fleeing persecution, fam. That means you don't got anything. You war torn, technically. How was y'all able to come here, these tethers, and get these motorcycles and mopeds and do jobs like DoorDash and Instacart? So why isn't Trump finding DoorDash and Instacart? because they clearly took jobs from Americans that had cars and was doing those jobs. I was one of those folks. I get how this goes, because that was my next question to ask you, P. Ray, or what I really wanted to ask. How's the business situation over there? Because I do nothing but other than encourage our people to get their tax ID. Hey, we doing free trade everywhere, man. Go get your tax ID. Hire these tellers if you got to go get some cheap labor and build your business off the back of these folks. Because the white man doing it, why ain't you? You know what I'm saying? So the real narrative or argument is they doing the same thing out in Chicago, where they could come over here, apply for a tax ID, a TIN, and get like 50 to 100,000 or more to open up a business. And to add in that question, is it also true, because you probably know some of these bodegas out there, because I see the same thing out here, that after 5 years, they have to start paying taxes, but they, close the business and rename it something else and give it to one of their family members. Is that true out there in Chicago? Because it's been happening now in Jersey as long as I've been on this planet, but go ahead.
Let me we got a new speaker up here, so let me get to the hand up here real quick. Is it Pally?
Yeah, Pally Girl. I'm otherwise known as Patty. I just want to say thank you for having me up, and hey to P. Ray. I've made contact with P. Ray a few times. And anyway, congratulations on getting ice up there. I know you've been working hard. So I'm in the Blue City. I'm in Baltimore. And we have same problems down here. It doesn't matter what your race is. The immigrants have taken over. And they're taking jobs for everybody here too. But we need them here. And the bad part is we've got a freaking racist governor and a freaking racist mayor who are out to only do for black and nobody else in the Pin City. It doesn't matter what you are in the city. If you're not black or you're not their friend, you're not getting any help. And that's a bad thing. And, our city's like any other city, made up of a lot of different cultures and nationalities and races. And the same with our state. And
okay, what city are you in, real quick?
I'm in Baltimore, down here in Maryland, with Governor West No More, we call him. He has.
Are you in the city, or are you in the county?
I'm in the city. I'm in the Baltimore City. Yeah, I'm in Baltimore City.
So are you saying? Are you saying that white people are being discriminated against in Baltimore?
Everybody is. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, if you're not Latino or illegal, you're being discriminated against unless you're a friend of the mayor or a friend of the governor.
So I thought you said that. I thought you said real quick. Hold on, Ruben. I thought you said that he was that they were only doing stuff for black people in Baltimore.
Oh, only their friends. Only the friends that are black, not the general blacks, not the average black person.
Oh, okay.
The rest of it. Yeah, if you're not their buddy or their friend, you're not getting help.
Right, hold on, Patty. I guess that's what they call you. So hold on a second. You do realize Wes Moore is a Jamaican, melanated, not black American Negro.
Exactly.
So when you say that, you got to be specific because we understand that. But go ahead, though.
He comes in claiming to be black, though, and he's going to help the black people. And
but he's not helping. But he's not helping the Freeman Negro.
Exactly.
So you're all right when you say, "Hey, look, he's not helping no one unless you're friends with him."
Exactly.
Why Baraka do the same thing here in New Jersey? Brandon Johnson doing the same thing in Chicago.
And we have a little native boy here who was originally a delegate from my district. He's Brandon Scott for our mayor, our Baltimore mayor. And he grew up here in Baltimore. He's born and raised here, but he was born on the wealthy side of town, not in the poor side of town. And he actually came in when he became mayor. He says, "I'm telling you all now," he says, "it's time for black reparations. And if you ain't black, don't count on me to support you." He said, "I'm here to give the black people what they want." But the thing is, he's not giving anyone but his friends what they want. The rest of the black people complain about him too now. He's basically pretty much done everything to hurt the city as well. And in the 2 terms, he's here for a second term now. And even his own delegates are calling him out now. It's just terrible what they've done. And our governor, let's go back to the governor. He came into our state with a $5 trillion surplus. And before his first 2 years was up, the fall before Donald Trump was elected, we were in a $3 trillion deficit. He hadn't even been here 2 years. And we've had a lot of mostly Democrat mayors, white, black, all different colors. It doesn't much matter. We've had a lot of different mayors and governors. Most of them, you like the good, you like the bad. None of them have been perfect like any place else. But this guy came in and just raped it. I mean, he raped it big time, and we don't know where the money's been. There's no money trail. And even the people auditing can't find the money trail. Where did the $5 trillion go? What's it been spent on? So they're asking for records and receipts. Nobody's getting them. They're putting in FOIA requests for the receipts. We have over 24 lawsuits against the Trump administration. And he's too busy on TV and suing the Trump administration and not taking care of the state. So this is what this state has just gone to pot. We really need, the illegals are taking over everything here. They're in every business, like you were talking about. They're taking over almost every business. They're putting the average middle class, working class person, unless you got a computer degree or something in high education somewhere. All the little jobs are taken by them. The convenience stores, the McDonald's everything. I mean, the kids can't get a job, so they're doing the squeegee boys on the corners, and then of course they lose their tempers and get in trouble. They're selling water bottles on the corners, just trying to collect money on the corners. I mean, it's starting to remind me of LA. We just had a big drug overdose in the West Side. They walk around like the zombies with their heads hanging on the ground and some of them upside down. And it was sad. It's pitiful. I've been here. I'm 69 years old, and I've been here all of my life. I have never seen anything this bad. Even during riots, even during Freddie Gray when they were burning down stuff, I've never seen our city and our state this bad. It's not just our city anymore. It's expanding to the state everywhere. And it's just sad because the migrants have come in, and our delegates, I think they're being paid to allow this shit to happen. I think they're getting kickbacks from the cartels, from the drugs, from whoever, the DNC. I don't know who it's from. They're getting money to let this stuff happen, and they're turning a blind eye to it. They defunded the police. We're over 600 police officers short in our city, in the city alone. That's not the state. That's the city. So, it's a mess. The whole state and the whole city is turning to a mess here. So I'm looking for ICE. I'm looking for ICE to come in, ATF to come in. We got a little bit of FBI and ATF here now, but nothing like what we need. So we just had a foster kid die. 12-year-old foster kid who was put in social services living in a hotel. They found her dead in a hotel with no supervision. What the hell is that? This just happened, and nobody's being held accountable. They're still offering foster care to these people.
And you don't even hear it on the news.
No. It's horrible. And I get the alerts regularly, and we, since the borders are closed, I don't know if you noticed this, I'm big on the child trafficking. I hate it. I mean, if I found somebody was trafficking somebody, I'd probably be in jail because I'd probably shoot them. But the child trafficking, if you notice, when we had open borders, you didn't see as many of our own kids disappearing because they had plenty of ways to get people in here from other countries, to bringing them in from Thailand and Ukraine and wherever else, all the big hubs, Colombia and so on. Now that the borders are pretty tight, you're starting to see more and more of your own local kids disappear. And they're being taken up for the trafficking and whatever else they're doing with our kids. And I see at least 5-6 a day come in from our state, that are coming across the Citizens Act, child missing, this or that, and then they show up on whatever county's police department site it's on. And it's disturbing when I see that happen. And every now and then you see one that was found. They found them because it was probably a runaway or somebody didn't come home and was protesting their parents or whatever. You get those here and there. But too many of them you never see that get returned. They're missing for a long time, and we don't ever see them again. And we have more of that now. And I know a lot of that is not just our own people, but I think a lot of the migrants are worse than what our own people are with this stuff. They just have no moral values, it seems like. Anyway, I don't have all the answers. I don't know all the answers, but I know we need to get all these people out that have came in and taken advantage of our kindness in this country overall and go back to having citizenship done the right way and people, having their rights and jobs, and for us taxpayers to have the first privilege. I think it's just, we got to go back to that. We need to get our businesses back in our country. I agree with that. I know that's going to be a rough road in the beginning because the tariffs are going to hurt a little bit, but I think it'll turn around if we have the time. We just need the time to do it, So we can get industry and businesses back in this country. they've taxed all the big businesses out of Maryland. We used to have a lot of big businesses here where the average middle-class person could work and make good wages. They're all gone because they keep taxing the big companies, charging them more and more taxes, and they find a new state to move to that doesn't charge them as much. They disappear, so then we lose the jobs.
All right.
Because they don't understand. They're not going to stay if they can't make a profit. They don't want to run a business to make what they can make working for somebody else and go home and forget about it the next day. Nobody wants to run a business and not make enough profit.
Well, thank you, Pally Girl. We appreciate you coming up here and sharing your truth with us.
Yeah, I enjoy your spaces, and I've been following P. Ray for a while now and tried to help her out a little bit here and there. So, she's what got me into Chicago. To be honest with you, so she was my light to there. So I never paid much attention. I started listening to a lot of you, in these spaces, just listening those nights, and you're in a lot of the same situation we were in, maybe a little worse. So
definitely,
so it's a common cause for all of us right now, I think. So,
well, we appreciate. Thank you.
God's blessings, and let's hope we get this country straightened out in all of our major cities. So,
absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right, take care, P. Ray.
Thank you, love.
Let me give a shout out to my girl Trouble too. I saw she just hit me up with the Cash App as always. Thank you, Miss Trouble, for supporting. We're not gonna keep this space going too much longer. Let's go ahead and get anybody that wants to I'm gonna give anybody that wants to speak up here maybe 2-3 minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and close it up. Anybody put your hand up? Let me get to my Chicago people first. Let me get to P. Ray, and then
I'm going to answer P. Ray. Answer my question real quick though. But go ahead.
What was the question?
About businesses up there. I know it was a double question, double entendre or whatever, but obviously they come on here, they get the TIN number, they open up a business, have it for 5 years tax-free, go out of business, fake or change the name, pass it on to one of their relatives or friends. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you've been seeing that for years. So what's the situation out there now where, like, if you went to business or if you know any black businesses out there, did they get pushed out or are they suffering?
No, I live in the Austin community, where America's largest Negro community. And one thing we do well is get money together. So people are still getting money. They're still opening businesses. It's just that they're in the way. That's the thing. And we just need people to move out the way so that we can, again, bring our people home and rebuild what we had. Where we live at has never been a poverty pit. This is a middle-class Negro community in the United States, and we love it. When I tell y'all we love it, we love it. So we want to be comfortable in the space. We want to be able to purchase homes in the space. We want to be able to educate our children in the space, and we can't do that if we are fighting off an invasion. So yeah, that's what I'll say. We're doing well with the businesses, but one thing about us too is that we don't hate on people getting money. So if you want to make some money and you're not harming people, we'll let you make your money. But if there could be more storefronts available, if, again, everybody was where they were supposed to be.
All right. Thank you, P. Ray. Let me go ahead and get to Arthur. Arthur, is there something you like to say in closing? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I just I want us to just keep on this path of awareness and action, and us getting ourselves together like we had talked about earlier today, our news story, because, a lot of this stuff, even though like it is a lot of crap that comes from the government, a lot of this stuff comes from us not having our stuff together. You know what I'm saying? As a group. And I'm hoping that we are on this road to solidifying the way we think, what we do, and protecting ourselves and prospering as a community. That's all I got to say.
All right. Appreciate that, Arthur. Let me get to my girl, Jess Case. Jess Case. Don't forget to go ahead and give me that follow back, but go ahead, sweetie.
I got you. I'm going to follow you. This the cutie on duty. The reward for turning these people in is my son Future. Is to speak to like what Mark Carter was speaking about earlier. these people, when they come here, we think twice about family planning. You know, we're not just going to have 10 kids or something like that. Because we can't afford it. We think about our kid futures and stuff like that. We don't have free insurance. We gotta be responsible with what we do. So me calling ICE on these people that's not supposed to be here, that a lot of them come from anti-black countries or countries that have anti-black sentiments. I'm doing this for my son. That's the reward for me. I'm doing this so he don't have to deal with the unnecessary mess that I found myself dealing with when coming across people that feel like they good, even though they're not here legally and stuff like that. They've been here so long, they've been complacent that they feel like they don't have to get legal status. That's why you see people here 30 years. They showing people grandparents getting deported. You've been here 30 years. You never gave a damn about becoming a citizen. You just thought you was going to overrun this country. So, calling ICE on them, they don't have to pay me a damn. I just want to make sure that the stuff that they went through in LA, that my son don't have to go through that stuff. Or my cousins and stuff like that don't have to go through the same tribalism that they practice in LA. As far as locking black people out of wealth and stuff like that. It's black and brown, so the brown overrun your community. Then it's all about them. They play that black and brown till they get what they want. And I'm done playing those games with them. As far as the calling ICE too, making a report, it shows that they want like something, like a reason, like is they illegally doing, they like selling drugs or something like that. Like you could put illegal immigration, but the DNC done kind of screwed us on that because of these little laws and these little things they put in place for these people to protect them. Just to land my plane, when Chicago kept on advertising how they not gonna work with ICE, it made Chicago the beacon for all illegal, dangerous criminals all over the United States to come here because they was going to be protected. And it's true. Brandon Johnson, how many executive orders have Brandon Johnson passed on behalf of American citizens? Look at everything they went through to make sure that we didn't have a voice. When we wanted to vote on not being a sanctuary city, look how they sabotaged that. But here it is, and then when the DNC came to Chicago, Big Back Pritzker, you could call us the National Guard for that because you don't want us to protest because we didn't agree with most of the people that was coming in for the DNC convention. But now here it is, the National Guard is coming here to support ICE and stuff like that. Now it's about our freedom of speech. Now it's about not militarizing and us being citizens and stuff like that. It was never about us. The same places that they got these illegals staying in with beautiful lake views, you got Black Americans, Native Black Americans, sleeping underneath bridges in an ice cold Chicago winter. So yeah, I'm doing it for us. No Pan-Africanism. If it's not about us first, then it ain't about nothing. We have to take care of us because that's how everybody else look at it. So yeah, I sit on the phone with ICE. We could do a calling thing. We could do a filling out form thing. I'm trying to get up there with Cutie, okay? I'm trying to catch up to her. And every time I put in a report, it's for the future of Americans. That's what it's about. Because these people ain't never gave a damn about us.
All right. Appreciate that.
And our months behind us to catch up.
Appreciate that. Let me get to my girl Trouble real quick. I'm gonna get the QT, and then we're gonna end up closing this thing out for the night. Trouble, you decided to come up here this late night. Why you ain't come up earlier so we could have had you up here longer?
We want Trouble, sister.
New Soda, shout out to you, shout out to the Black family. I got kicked out of your space on my other phone, and it wouldn't let me.
Okay.
So I went in. I've been listening from my computer.
iPhone.
Yeah, I've been listening from my computer. Then I just went ahead and loaded up my other phone so I could just get in real quick.
Android napkin.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take up a whole lot of time. Shout out to the space. It was a good conversation, a good breakdown. It was nice to hear from the people who's actually on the ground what's going on in Chicago, rather than some of these random news sites and random people that's just saying stuff and they don't really know what they're talking about. The only thing I came on to really say was just to give a friendly reminder to the family. What happened with News Toter is really just a stark reminder of how important it is for us to keep up with each other on other social media sites, and like DJ said earlier, newstoter.com, fundedsocially.com, even YouTube. Toter has a YouTube channel. If all of us had been subscribing to his YouTube channel, then when he got, kicked off of the bird from a bird, we would have still been able to, enjoy some News Toter shows on YouTube or somewhere else. So I'm just coming on to send a friendly reminder. Follow your people. Find out where we're at, and let's all lock in. And that's going to be very important coming up, because the person who owns this app is really, really showing us his disdain for the type of conversations that we have, and so on and so forth. So much love to everybody, and that's all I wanted to say. Shout out to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Miss Trouble. Miss Trouble was spot on with that one as well, too. So y'all definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, too. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, too. Cutie, go ahead. You got it.
Yeah, I just wanted to respond. I didn't see who it was that had said something about the reward. I didn't want any misunderstanding. I was just informing people that were misinformed about, ICE's, the money that ICE would pay out, just to clarify. I reported, 51 businesses, individuals, and residences, because I want these criminals out of America. I want the economy to come back to normal. I want the housing and food supply, because we have to think that these people are eating up the food supply, and they're scamming everywhere they go. They're just criminals, and I don't care if I don't ever get paid, because I am paid, and I am rewarded with the satisfaction of knowing that I am fighting Biden's corrupt government that allowed this to happen, and that I am taking the smiles and the smugness off the arrogant illegals' faces. So that's all I wanted to say. I just want them gone, and I want to do my duty. It makes me feel good to do my duty to defend my country. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, as always, QT. Also, I want to say, P. Ray, I know you're running for office as well, too. So whenever you're ready and you want to do a space, we would be more than happy to have you here on the News Toter space, so you can explain your platform and everything else as well, too. Bring in your Chicago constituents, and we can go ahead and get that space, and we can do that. Also, Arthur, I know we talked about also a reparation space as well, too. I haven't forgot that as well, too. So, whenever you're feeling better, we can go ahead and touch up on that as well, too. So we're not going to keep this space going. I only want to do a 2-hour space. I had to start later tonight because I had to take my son to karate as well, too, his karate practice. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and end it on that note, but we're going to be back this week as well, too. I want to go ahead and do another space this week as well, too, guys. So make sure y'all click that notification bell, too, because I'm putting out a lot of content daily. Click that notification bell on the actual News Toter page to stay up to date as well, too. That's the only way y'all going to be able to stay up to date. I want to just give a shout out to P. Ray, Jess Cakes, Arthur, Mark as well, to our Chicago people that came up in here and gave us an insight exactly what's going on. Like I say, I had a couple news articles off the website as well, but that those are curated articles and they're coming from a third party So I want to kind of verify exactly what was going on in Chicago. And I do appreciate, especially Miss P. Ray. We talked in the back channels, and she definitely came in, was ready to go at 9 o'clock, did her thing as well, too. So I definitely appreciate that, sister, and wish her the best of luck on her run to go ahead and secure a spot in Chicago politics as well, too. And like I say, when you get ready, whenever you're ready, just let me know, DM me. We can go ahead and we can set up a space and we can talk about your platform and everything else as well, too. So I definitely look forward to that. And just shout out to Original, DJ, Professor as usual, and everybody else that was up in the space tonight as well, too, guys. We appreciate everybody coming in here. There will be another space this week as well, too, guys. So we will see you guys in peace. Be safe, and we'll see you guys in a day or two.